AITA for telling cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card. Throw away because husband told me I was tar and want to know before I get home and argue. On phone format is bad. I was in a higher end department store today, rhymes with looming tales, and happened to end up next to two teenage-aged girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots and they were both fawning over them. Second girl must have looked at price tag and asks boots girl if she's really gonna spend that much on boots. Girl with boots says something along the lines of it's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying, which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had split up from the girls at this point because they had found something else. We end up at the same register, me behind, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't let her get away with something like this and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell cashier that isn't her card but her father's and I'm not sure she has permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. Girl tells cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out it wasn't hers, cashier tells her she can't use that card. Girl tries to show ID to prove they have the same last name. Yeah, that will help. And I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal, she needs to pay with her own card or I call the cops. Girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me and I tell my husband when I get home, only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So Reddit. Aisha. AITA. Mind your own fucking business. The girl's dad probably makes money and she's spoiled and it absolutely isn't your job to parent her and embarrass her like that in a store. You also aren't a federal law enforcement officer investigating fraud. Just buy your shit and go home. She bought it too on her own card in the end, so you're probably a rich family. AITA. You have no idea what agreement she has with her dad. And you had no reason to interject yourself. She paid anyway and was crying, which says to me she was allowed to buy and was embarrassed over the interaction. If she was stealing from her dad, she would not have just spent her own money on a product costing over $1,000. She'd have walked away. Edit. This is a brand new username, thanks for the karma, I seriously needed it to post with less restrictions. AITA. Do you usually make a habit of sticking your nose into other people's business? I would be so embarrassed if my girlfriend came home telling me this story, acting as if she's the hero. AITA. I understand where you're coming from, but it's a mind your own business kind of situation. The father let her have the card. You don't even know if she's allowed to use it or not. If she isn't allowed to, he can deal with the situation as it is his child. It's not like she said she found the card on the street and is racking up charges everywhere. Plus you're making everyone's lives harder by being an ass. Calling the cops for a daughter using her father's card? You need to chill out. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure the father wouldn't want the police called on his own daughter for this. So who is she protecting here? AITA. It really was none of your business. You made a scene. Tried to discipline a child that was not yours over a scenario you knew nothing about. And wasted everyone's time. Just because you wouldn't give your child permission to use your card doesn't mean everyone else is the same. She used her own card in the end, so her family obviously has the money. You may have meant well, but you were absolutely in the wrong on this one. To me it doesn't actually sound like she meant well. It sounds like she wanted to assert her moral superiority over a situation that didn't concern her whatsoever. Someone has to parent this kid if no one else will, is so sickeningly self-righteous. It arrived on this with my own father's card with permission so many times. Who the fuck cares? Worst case scenario, he finds out and returns it, but guess what? She probably had permission, or she would said, oh, I took my dad's card to her friend at that moment. Calm down. When I was in high school, my mom would give me her card to buy things with her permission, so I could have fun with my friends and she could have some time alone too. I cannot believe this sounded like such an absurd situation to this woman that she had to interject. I would have been livid as the kid, and I know my mom would have been mad too, that she would have had to come down and pay/transfer the money later. This post makes me so mad, lol. It is so badly, this should literally be a shit post. I'm sure it's not. Some people just have nothing to do but insert themselves into things that don't concern them. AITA. My mother gave me her credit card to use all the time when I was a teen. Your rules for your kids aren't universal. This was the first thing that popped into my head. Every family is different. And even if it were true that the daughter took the card without her dad's permission, it's still none of Op's business. AITA, but I get the feeling you're still gonna go home and argue with your husband about it and ignore everything you've learned here. Seeing how she handled this situation, there's no way she'll learn anything from this. She most likely came to this sub for validation. But after 1500 plus comments telling her she's an asshole, she's completely silent. AITA. Start minding your own business more and other people's less. Edit. I tell her that it is my business that she's doing something illegal. Holy shit, I just noticed this. How the hell is it your business? You need to explain that. You are everything wrong with this country. Lol. I'm a 35-year-old woman. Sometimes my 68-year-old mom gives me her credit card to do her grocery shopping for her BC. She doesn't like going out in public too much. It's not fucking illegal, nor is it fraud. Op is an asshole. AITA. How do you know her father didn't give her permission to use the card? Mine used to give me his credit card or checkbook all the time when I was younger, and while it wasn't given to me for 4-digit shopping trips, it was given to me for household groceries, school supplies, school clothing, with a budget on how much I could spend. You don't know what kind of permission she had. And her dad would soon find out anyways when he gets the statement. Your husband is right. You need to keep your nose out of other people's business. Girl tries to show ID to prove they have the same last name. Yeah, that will help. And I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal, she needs to pay with her own card or I call the cops. Op thinks it's fraud, even if you use someone else's card with permission. Either Op is extremely dumb or this is fake as fuck. AITA. When a rich kid says my dad's credit card, that usually means it's a card for them that their dad pays. Mind your business. It's also fully possible that the dad just gave her his credit card for that shopping trip. Op does say that the name on the card wasn't the girl's. So I'm assuming the dad just gave the card to her and said do as you please. AITA. What the fuck, dude? Plenty of parents hand over their store credit card for their kid to shop in that store. It wasn't even a damn Visa or anything. A Bloomingdale's card. I can't tell you how many times my parents did the same. I had permission to buy what I wanted or needed and to use their card. Some people don't have the same price constraints as you, and a pair of shoes over $1K isn't a big deal. And even then, it's her dad's card. He would have seen the statement and known exactly what she purchased that was that expensive. The fact that this teen was able to pull out her own credit card and put it on there instead of walking away from the purchase shows that this girl is living in a very different world than you. Of course she walked away crying, you were mean, belittling, sticking your nose where it didn't belong, and causing a scene over a common occurrence. Adult and teenage me would have given you a big middle finger and then swiped my mom's card that I'm a goddamn authorized user on. Her parents probably pay their credit card as well anyways. In the end, she just lost that dad some nice store points he cold gotten. AITA. Cashier looks mad at me. In addition to what people have said, If the staff also gets some commission or compensation for store performance, then you were possibly messing with their money as well. Not to mention the cashier is no doubt used to kids using their parents' credit cards all the damn time and knows it's not actually a problem. AITA. I tell her that it is my business. It's not. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card. Nobody asked you how you parent your kids. Certainly nobody cares. And not everyone parents the same as you. If the girls, the cashier, all the shoppers in the vicinity, and your own husband think you're wrong, do you really think it's likely that they are all wrong and you're sitting on your cloud of rightness? Or is there a chance that perhaps you're a little more obnoxious than you think you are? My favorite line though has to be, "I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no." Do you think maybe she was reacting negatively because you ruined what was supposed to be a nice day with her friend? Maybe a birthday shopping spree she was given, and you sucked all the joy out of it. Maybe teenagers get nervous in situations where adults approach them accusing them of things they didn't do and threatening to call police on them while having zero evidence they were doing anything wrong. Someone should follow you around with a camera. You are prime/r/public freakout material. I like the part where the op thinks it was the teenager throwing a tantrum. Guess you won't be showing your husband this post then. Apostrophe. It appears as though she isn't even showing herself this post, as she seems to have vanished completely. If you enjoyed this video then hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more future videos.